Okay, so I'm going to just do a couple of problems on number one, but I also want to explain a concept, okay? So first, let's talk about Newton's third law again. Remember how I said in the intro that, we know the third law is for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, but we also need to note that that equal and opposite reaction is the same type of force. So what do I mean by that? I mean, if there's an applied force to one object, then that equal and opposite reaction will be an applied force. But this is where it gets kind of tricky, but not really, right? So let's say I have my pen here. I have my pen and I drop my pen. We know the pen falls because the force of gravity, 9.8 meters per second, that's a force on the pen when it falls, right? So we also know that my pen is applying that same force to the earth. So the attraction of gravity from the earth is equal to the attraction of gravity to the pen, and that's why the pen falls. But then the question is, well, why doesn't the earth, fall upward towards the pen if it's the same attraction? So if we remember from Newton's law, remember inertia, things with more mass are much more difficult to accelerate, right? So the earth has so much more mass relative to the pen, it practically doesn't move at all. Okay, so that's why when I drop the pen, it falls, but the earth doesn't necessarily meet it halfway. Okay, so remember, equal and opposite reaction of the same type of force. So let's look at number one, and let's look at the baseball, right? So pitch gets thrown, and you swing, and the bat hits the ball. So the action force is the bat hitting the ball, and the reaction force is the ball applying that same force back to the bat, right? So that's it's pretty self-explanatory. This stuff is pretty easy. Action force, man pushes car. Reaction force, car pushes man. Same force. Just like when you punch a wall, you're applying that force to the wall, and that wall is applying an equal and opposite force to your hand. That's why if you punch it hard enough, it hurts your hand, right? It can bruise up the skin, it can cut you because you're getting that force that you put directly back at your hand. So, Newton's third law summary, finish these up, and we'll get rolling.